All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 45 of the Dear Herbalist podcast. Today, we are going to talk about men's health. So, this episode is titled Men's Health Father's Day Edition. And the reason why I decided to do that, one, is because Father's Day is coming up. So, shout out to all the fathers today, especially my husband. Happy Father's Day, babe. Thank you for continuing to be the protector and provider that you are. We love you. All right. So again, shout out to all the fathers. This episode is dedicated to you. So today we are going to talk about common health issues among men and some ways that we can help our men get and remain healthy. Based on the research, the top 3 health issues faced by men today are heart-related diseases, lung cancer, and prostate cancer. Additionally, mental health issues such as depression, anxiety are prevalent among our men. So here are some practical tips that herbalists can use to support men's health, both mentally and physically. Now, men's health is a very important topic because it's not often talked about, right? It's always about women and health and stress and this and that. And we women, we do carry a lot. Make no mistake about it. But we cannot forget about our men's health as well. So let's get into the topics a little bit deeper. Now, the top 3 health issues, like I said before, we're going to get into those right now. Number 1, heart-related diseases. So these are your cardiovascular diseases, heart attack, stroke, any disease or imbalance, dis-ease, right, affecting the arteries are collectively known as cardiovascular diseases. They are the leading cause of death among men worldwide, and more than 1 out of 4 adult men are at risk of dying from cardiovascular disease. Cardiovascular disease is the leading men's health threat, with heart disease and stroke being first, and second leading cause of death worldwide for both women and men. And we know a lot of that is due to stress and suppression of issues as well. Next one is lung cancer. So lung cancer is the second leading cause of death among men. Smoking is the leading cause of lung cancer in men, causing 9 out of 10 cases. Lung cancer is still a major health threat to men despite declining smoking rates. Next is prostate cancer. Prostate cancer is the most common type of cancer in men. Nearly 200,000 men develop prostate cancer in the United States every year. It is the second most commonly diagnosed cancer in males. Now, why is this? Well, the prostate acts as a sponge, and so the prostate gland has a unique ability to absorb and store various environmental toxins and endocrine disrupting chemicals from the body. And we know the endocrine system is the site of the hormones, right? And the hormones are chemical messengers that tell our body what to do in various parts of the body. All right. So if those are disrupted, that's going to be a problem. So the prostate gland, they call it a glandular tissue. So it acts like a sponge. It traps the toxins that then accumulate over time if they're not properly eliminated. So if they are accumulated over time, they eventually get encapsulated, and then you have a cancerous tumor. Now let's look at mental health. The top mental health issues faced by men are, number 1, depression. Depression is one of the most prevalent mental health conditions among men, with over 6 million men suffering from it each year in the United States alone. However, male depression often goes underdiagnosed due to men being less likely to report symptoms or even to seek professional help. So what are the signs? Let's take a look at those. Let's look at emotional signs. Number 1 is feeling irritable, angry or frustrated, feeling sad, empty or hopeless, feeling guilty or worthless, having low self-esteem. Behavioral signs are loss of interest in activities once enjoyed. That includes sex, social isolation or withdrawal from friends and family, escapist behaviors like excessive work, sports or video games, increased alcohol or drug use, controlling, violent, or abusive behavior, reckless or risk-taking behavior. Now, the cognitive signs are negative thinking patterns, indecisiveness or feeling overwhelmed, difficulty concentrating, suicidal thoughts or attempts. And the physical signs are fatigue or feeling constantly tired, sleep disturbances like insomnia or oversleeping, changes in appetite or weight, physical aches and pains such as headaches, muscle aches, stomach issues, and loss of sexual desire or performance issues. All right. That is some of the signs of depression. The next is anxiety disorders. So this includes your panic disorders, phobias, and etc. More than 3 million men in the United States have a panic disorder or any other type of phobia. Anxiety disorders are common mental health issues faced by men, but they manifest differently than in women, such as through irritability, anger, or substance abuse. So, those are the issues commonly faced by our men. Let's talk about some solutions. Okay, let's talk about how herbs can help. So we'll start there, and then I'll give you some additional recommendations, general wellness tips next. So for lung support, there are 3 herbs that you can use to kind of help support your man's lungs. All right, number 1 is mullein. Mullein is traditionally used to support respiratory health and can be consumed as a tea or a tincture. The next one is licorice root. Licorice root has anti-inflammatory properties and can soothe the respiratory tract. It can also be taken as a tea or in capsule form. So if you make a capsule, you can dry it, ground it into a powder, and put 300 to 500 milligrams worth in a capsule. Turmeric. Turmeric is the anti-inflammatory properties. It has that, right? And it can help support lung health as well. So you want to try to incorporate turmeric into the diet through seasoning the foods, or you can put it in a capsule as well. I would prefer, trying to season your foods or try to make a smoothie and put a little bit in there so that you can get it directly that way. But he may not want to do it that way. He may be like, listen, I don't even want to taste it. So you can always put it in a supplement form. Now let's move on to prostate health. So herbs that you can use for that are saw palmetto. It's commonly used to support prostate health as well as relieve symptoms of benign, they call it benign prostatic hyperplasia. Okay. And it is available in capsule or tincture form. Another one is nettle root, which can also help support urinary function and reduce the prostate symptoms. You can use that in a tea or as a supplement. Another one is zinc, which is very important mineral for prostate health. So encourage men to consume zinc-rich foods like pumpkin seeds, or consider some supplements. But if you can get it from the food first, that's the best way to do it. Now let's look at the mental health support. Some herbs you can use for that. Number 1 is St. John's wort. Now this is known for its antidepressant properties. It can help alleviate the symptoms of depression, and you can take it in a capsule, tea, or even tincture. If you use a tincture, just put a few drops under your tongue. But as a caution, make sure that it does not interact with any other medications because it can. So you want to look into that depending on what type of medication your husband might be taking, or your son, or whoever it is, uncle. Make sure that you know what type of medications they're taking, if any, so that there's no negative reactions. The next one is ashwagandha. Ashwagandha is what we call an adaptogen. So it can help the body adapt to the stress that it is under and that it's facing. So it can also help reduce the stress as well as anxiety. And you can take it in a supplement or powdered form, add it to smoothies, which can be really good. I do that with kids, so you can definitely do it with your mate or man, husband, uncle, brother, or son. All right. Valerian root is another one. It can help with anxiety and improve your sleep quality. You can use this as a tea or as a supplement. Same thing with chamomile. It has a lot of calming effects. It helps reduce anxiety and improve sleep. A lot of these herbs that I'm recommending for mental health support are also good because they help support the body deal with the level of stress that it's under. It helps the person to calm down. There's natural things that you can do, but also there's herbal things that you can do as well. So take those things into consideration. So now let me give you some general wellness tips. Number 1, you guys know that I'm a very spiritual person. I believe in prayer. So I'm always going to say that first, okay, as far as your general wellness tips. Pray for your husband, your father, your son, your uncle, your goddad, whoever it is. Pray for them, because oftentimes men can keep their feelings inside and may not always say how or what they are feeling. And you want to ask the Most High to help them to be able to address things that they may not be able to openly address with you. He can also soften their hearts and give them a safe space to be vulnerable and get answers on how to address what is ailing them. Also, prayer is important because of spiritual warfare. We know that we wrestle not against flesh and blood, so spiritual warfare is important, especially over those that are the heads of our household. That is definitely important as well. We have to pray for protection and peace over their mind. So that is always going to be number one, as far as the general wellness tip. Number two, encourage regular exercise. So physical activity can improve both physical and mental health. I don't know how you guys feel, but typically after I exercise, I feel those endorphins. I feel, like I can run 20 more miles. I don't, but I often feel like that. So exercise is important. It also encourages release. Okay. Release of the pent up stress, frustration, and all that kind of stuff. So you want to encourage regular exercise. That could be walking, that could be running, that could be some kind of sport or activity, whatever it is. Encourage them to get outside, and you get outside as well, and get out there and run and jump and do all that other kind of stuff. It will help. Another thing is promote a healthy diet. So of course, a diet rich in fruits and vegetables, proteins will support overall health, but it'll also make them feel a lot lighter. And you want to consider anti-inflammatory foods such as berries, leafy greens, fatty fish. Nothing wrong with a steak every now and again, but you want to try to keep them as light as possible, especially if there's an onset of some sort of illness or disorder. Another thing is mindfulness and meditation. Now, for some people, you got to be careful when you say that, because you don't know what they're meditating on, But again, like I said, I'm coming from a spiritual perspective. So when I think of mindfulness and meditation, one, it's about being grateful. It's about, being thankful and looking at your life and, hey, it could be worse, but thankful to the Most High that we are here, we are breathing, we get another day, another shot at life. And then, of course, meditation, reading the scriptures, meditating on His word. That's what I mean when I say meditation. It can also help improve your mental clarity and get perspective, because the reality of it is, in this life, not everything is always going to work out. And so the things that most people need to understand in general is just how to maintain and be content even when they don't work out. And that's not a skill that's oftenly taught. That's a skill that's oftenly learned or caught, as they say. Some things are taught, some things are caught. And when it's caught, that means you've experienced it directly and you've had to slap yourself in the face and say, yeah, it sucks right now, but it's going to be all right. And so that's what I mean when I say mindfulness, meditation, and those type of things, is keeping the proper perspective. And of course, if we can get men to do this as well as women, then this can help reduce stress and improve mental clarity. The next thing is routine health checkups. Now, a lot of y'all know I'm not anti-doctor, okay? They do have the machines and all this other stuff that we don't have as herbalists. So they can read and scan the body and those type of things, especially for herbalists that are not properly trained in tongue diagnosis or iridology, these other type of diagnostic, as we say, measures. Okay, if that's the case, then go get a regular checkup. Monitor your heart health, your prostate health. These type of things are important. Get the scans, get the outcomes of the test, and then you can take them to your herbalist and say, okay, this is what was determined. This is what's going on. They can do their additional assessments from there, and then they can recommend certain remedies based on these things. But if you don't know it's there and it's there, that's a problem. You got to be able to address it. And oftentimes men don't want to go to the doctors. Some of the exams and tests that they do, may be invasive. So if you can get them to the doctor, especially monitoring the heart health and these type of things, that would be good. So at least through blood tests and things like that what actually is going on in the body. And then you can make your proper recommendations from there. Or if you take them to a herbalist, they can make some recommendations based on the readings that they have as well. Let's talk about some mental health tips. Number one, normalize conversations about mental health with your men. Encourage open and non-judgmental discussions about mental health concerns. Challenge societal stigmas and stereotypes, one of which, men don't cry, be tough, all that stuff. And that has not been helping them at all. But the main thing is being able to create a safe space for them to express their emotions and seek support without feeling judged or without gathering up ammunition to throw in their face later in an argument. That's not okay. Do not do that. Next, promote stress management techniques. So they can do deep breathing. Like I said, the meditation and mindfulness, we talked about that already. They can exercise, which is important. Various things to manage the stress and anxiety, because stress in and of itself is not a bad thing. It's chronic stress, because every now our bodies go through certain levels of stress, and life just presents stress in and of itself. It's chronic, ongoing stress. You're activating that fight or flight mechanism in the body consistently. You're keeping that switch on. That's when it becomes dangerous. Okay, so we want to promote overall mental health and mental well-being. Another thing is suggest building a support network, right? So, encouraging men to cultivate a strong support system of friends, families, groups where they can share their experiences and receive emotional support. Oftentimes, you may feel like you're in a vacuum. You're the only one going through this. You're the only one feeling this frustration and anger. And then you sit with amongst other men and you realize, like, dang, they got some of the similar pressures I got, or they're dealing with some of the same issues I'm dealing with. It gives you a sense of comfort, like, okay, I'm not alone. I'm not crazy. This does suck. And, they agree. So that's very, very important. And, just emphasize that addressing these issues is a sign of strength and not weakness, because overall, you want them to have good mental health. You want them to be strong and to be able to move forward in their life and have a good quality of life, because they're a human being just like we are. All right. And then the other thing is education. So if you're an herbalist, whether you are a herbalist educator or not, you always want to educate your clients. You always want to educate your family on recognizing mental health issues, common symptoms, how you can deal with them. And, it'll help them to be a better individual. It'll help them to self-check, like, okay, am I dealing with this? What's going on here? How can I better help myself in this area? So teaching people how to recognize, because oftentimes you don't have words to what you're feeling. But when you put words to what you're feeling, that'll better help you to recognize, okay, this is what's really going on with me, and this is what I need to do to address it. And then, of course, always recommend lifestyle adjustments, because a lot of these disorders or diseases that they go through, and just people in general, is their lifestyle disorders. Whether it be what they eat, whether it be what they think, how they feel, toxins, all this stuff is related. And so this is the reason why you want to promote, get a hobby, do some recreational activities, self-care, go get a massage, get, these type of things that can help them adjust their lifestyle. In addition to diet and regular exercise, they'll be able to see the benefits there. So above all, make sure that you recognize the signs of disorders and diseases when they manifest. Use the remedies that I have recommended, the different herbs. Try those, look into those, do a little research, see how they can help your man. Like I said, with St. John's wort, just make sure that it does not negatively interact with any type of prescription drugs that they may be on. Give them a big hug, make them a big steak, and support them overall during this Father's Day season and beyond. And if you like what you heard, please like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on all my social media sites and platforms at The Demystified Herbalist. Once again, happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there, step or otherwise. We just saying fathers, we keeping it general. Happy Father's Day. Enjoy your day. Get some sunshine. catch some fish, whatever it is that you want to do on your day. Enjoy your day. We appreciate you. You are needed. You are valued. You are loved. Enjoy your day. And until next time, family, I'm out.